Donald Trump is really having a hell of a bad week in court this week. And it actually, to be honest, started last Friday. So last Friday, as we all know, Donald Trump had his lawyers go to U.S. District Judge Hellerstein and say, hey, Hellerstein, how about you move the hush money case away from the state court, you put it in the federal court system, and then we claim immunity and the whole thing goes away. They did that last Friday, and the judge immediately came back and said, no. First of all, you filed your request incorrectly to begin with, so I technically can't even consider it, but also your arguments are crap. So Trump's legal team said, all right, we'll fix this. Here we go. And they refiled it correctly this time, this past Tuesday. And then just a couple hours later, after they refiled it in the correct way, Hellerstein once again came back, as I talked about the other day, and said, yeah, still no, though. I mean, thanks for doing it correctly this time, but not going to do it. And that only took a couple of hours because I think he knew what he was already going to say based on the first one, and he just said it again, but did, of course, thank them for, hey, at least you got it right. On the same day. So they get rejected by the judge, so they're like, all right, okay, one more time, here's what we're going to do. So they filed a new brief, actually 2 new briefs, with the same judge who, again, is not even overseeing the case and has now rejected them twice in the span of 2.5 business days. They're like, all right, here we go again. What we need you to do, Judge, and this is what they filed Tuesday. Actually, I'll read it to you, and then I'll explain what the legalese means. The traditional considerations bearing on a stay, likelihood of success on the merits, irreparable harm, and balance of equities, all favor the relief requested herein in order to protect important federal interests, including the institution of the presidency, the integrity of the 2024 presidential election, and the constitutional rights of President Trump and voters around the country. Finally, the national public has an interest in free and fair elections unburdened by the potential for the unlawful incarceration of President Trump by local officials in a single county. The public would therefore benefit from a stay that could allow Justice Merchan to avoid the rat's nest of comedy and the federalism issues attendant to the presidential immunity defense and President Trump's sentencing in the weeks before the election while the Second Circuit determines whether the appropriate forum is in this district. So what they're saying is, okay, we're appealing your ruling that we can't move it to federal court, which, of course, is obvious. But the problem we have with this, Hellerstein, is that just appealing it doesn't necessarily put off the sentencing that's coming up on September 18th. So we need you to go ahead and put a stay in place telling Judge Merchan that he cannot sentence our guy because obviously, you know, the public, that would ruin their votes because nobody wants to vote for a guy that could be going to prison. That's effectively what they are saying here. Now, the counter argument to that, of course, is that the public needs to know if the person they're voting for could be headed to prison. Not having the sentencing prior to the election could just the same be viewed as election interference. You're preventing people from having knowledge about a candidate that would possibly sway their vote one way or the other. So if you think if it happens before, it could sway the election, the same is true of it not happening before the election. People may think, oh, well, I guess his legal problems are over. So you see how that's not a smart argument because it's so easy to refute? I didn't even go to law school and I just refuted it. So there you go. That's what Trump's legal team is doing. As of this recording, we do not have an answer from Hellerstein, but I'm willing to bet it's not going to be any different from the previous 2 rulings that he already handed down in the last week. America's Lawyer has launched its own YouTube channel. Now, this channel, of course, is still in its early phases of development, but you can help grow it by subscribing. Just go to youtube.com/TheAmericasLawyer, and you'll get all of the great content from Mike Papantonio and myself that we produce every single week.